Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. Welcome to another episode of Last Gen Regen, where I take a look at a game from the previous console generation that I feel has been a bit forgotten about and neglected in recent times and may be due for a comeback. Over the next few weeks I'm going to be taking a look at the entire Fable Trilogy for the Xbox 360. All three games are included in the Xbox Game Pass or can be bought together in a trilogy bundle for the Xbox 360 marketplace, and if you've never played them before are well worth the time and money. Also, from this video onwards I'm going to be dropping the scores for each element of the game, such as graphics, sound and music, etc., and just giving an overall score at the end. Before I get into the details of Fable Anniversary, I'll just go over a bit of history. The original Fable became quite infamous because Peter Molyneux was making all sorts of claims about what you would be able to do in the game every time he had the opportunity, and then sadly most of his promises amounted to nothing, and everyone ended up being hugely disappointed in the finished product. I always quite liked the original Fable, which was released initially on the first Xbox and PC in 2004, but I never actually finished it. It wouldn't be until the Xbox 360 Fable Anniversary re-release came along in 2013 that I would actually beat it, long after I finished both of the sequels. This Anniversary Edition restored the extra content from the Lost Chapters expansion, such as additional quests and characters, improved the lighting and textures, and made minor gameplay changes such as the way combat works. This is the version of the original I'm going to be reviewing here, so let's get on with it. The first game in the series began with your main character as a small boy living in the quiet country town of Oakvale. It's your sister's birthday and you don't have any money to buy her a present, but your dad has promised you 1 gold piece for every good deed that you perform. So you can either take him up on his offer and assist the townspeople, or decide to be an evil little bastard and extort, bribe and bully your way into getting the money instead. This is really the main gameplay hook of Fable, your alignment. Will you be a goody two-shoes and eventually get a halo around your head, or will you perform evil deeds and eventually grow horns? Regardless, it doesn't really affect the story of the game. You are the hero that saves the world either way. In this first game, everything centres around the Heroes Guild. Not long into the game you will move there and begin your training before eventually setting off on some real quests to assist the denizens of Albion. You choose which quests you want to do from the map board, such as clearing out the picnic area from giant wasps, and then you can decide whether you want to activate any boasts. These include things like completing the quest in your underpants and will earn you some extra experience and gold if you're successful. Every so often, after clearing out all of the available side quests, there will be a story critical mission that advances the plot and usually takes you to new areas within the world as well. The combat is very much action based, and you have melee attacks ranged with either a regular bow or crossbow, and magic. Each one of these is mapped to a different button, making it quick and easy to switch between the different attacks. The type of experience you earn depends on what type of attack you are performing. This system was first used in Fable 2 and has been retroactively inserted into Fable Anniversary as well, which is a good thing because the old combat was a bit unwieldy. Outside of questing and combat, you are free to roam around the world of Albion at your leisure, finding secrets such as demon doors that have a very specific requirement to open them. One major drawback from this first Fable is that the areas in the game are all extremely small, which is a result of the game being designed for the first Xbox. There's also a lot of time spent in loading screens as you move from one area to another. The graphics are also rather obviously a holdover from a previous generation of consoles, with rather ugly and low detailed characters running about and rather basic level geometry. The sequels are a huge improvement in this regard, taking advantage of the extra power afforded by the Xbox 360. Sound and music is very good though, with an excellent main theme composed by none other than Danny Elfman, famous for his work on The Simpsons and countless Tim Burton movies. The rest of the soundtrack, composed by Russel is also extremely good, and fits the tone of the main theme very well. Side Studios, the British team who did the voice work for Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King, have provided their vocal talents for the various characters, and they've done a brilliant job. The humorous British accents are a hallmark of the series and help give it its sense of humour and identity, together with the very funny writing. One of the standout quests for me was retrieving 30 books for the school, which the teacher then reads to the children each time, with rather hilarious results.
It lifts one's spirits to see a hero take such a keen interest in education. Today, we'll be studying Volume 1 of The Creatures of Albion. Now, who here knows what screamers are? I bet you've never heard one though, have you? That's because they stay away from the towns. But out in the countryside, it's a rather different story, and you can sometimes hear them crying out in the night. Their scream can pierce even the bravest of men's hearts. Hearing it will not just chill you to the bone, but sap your energy too. According to the sage Richard Phillips, they feed upon the life force of men, sucking out their souls. Either way, if you ever see one, you'll soon end up like them, screaming.
Now for the gameplay. While Fable Anniversary is a lot more basic than the two sequels, it managed to hold my attention for roughly 20 hours or so before I just wanted to get to the end game and beat it. The quirky charm and humour is still there in spades, but the combat does start to get repetitive fairly quickly. It was interesting to finally see the end of the story after all these years. Unfortunately, during my time spent with the game, I did encounter some fairly major bugs, one of which I thought was going to prevent me from finishing the game. I did find a way around it eventually, but it was incredibly frustrating to experience. Overall, while Fable was a cool game back in 2004, and Anniversary has modernised it a little bit, it still pales in comparison to the two sequels. Worth a look for those who missed it for whatever reason, like me, and are curious to see how the series began, but by no means essential. I would give the game a score of 6 out of 10. Join me again soon to look at the second game in the trilogy. In the meantime, take care.